I shall soon be quite well, in spite of all. Perhaps next month. 1,000 little signs tell me so. I don't imagine it to be a definite state, but rather that I will simply be better off. Better than what is something I couldn't quite put my finger on all this time. But at first, I'll be better than now, I expect. For the time being, in order to avoid a certain extent of ordeals, I think I shall be able to tell myself 4 stories, each one on a different theme. One about a man, another about a woman, a third about a thing, and finally one about an animal. I think this is everything. I fell asleep, but I do not want to sleep. I do not want. No, I have no explanation to give. I stop everything and wait. Leave and invent. I've tried. I must have tried. Invent. It is not the word. Neither is live. No matter. I've tried. How false all this is. Perhaps I should put the man and the woman in the same story. There is so little difference between a man and a woman. Between mine, I mean. He was the eldest child of poor and sickly parents. He was a precocious boy. He was not good at his lessons. He attended his classes with his mind elsewhere, or blank. There he is, my old dapto. Shall I then fall on his neck? What half truths, my God. No matter, it is playtime now. I've also decided to remind myself briefly of my present state before embarking on my stories. A weakness, but I shall indulge in it. Of course, I still have my little fits of impatience from time to time. I must be on my guard against them. Quietly crying and laughing, without working myself up into a state. Yes, I shall be natural at last. Suffer more, then less. Without drawing any conclusions, I shall pay less heed to myself. I shall be neither hot nor cold anymore. I'm content, necessarily, but not to the point of clapping my hands. Back and forth, back and forth. That must be wonderful. One day I found myself here, said the man. At the end of the day, I didn't know where I'd been or what my thoughts had been. But who had not experienced such lapses? They are common after darkness. What tedium. And I call that playing. Perhaps I better abandon this story and go on to the second, or even the third. No, it would be the same thing. But there seems to be no other solution. What a way to reason. But I've done that, and all alone, well hidden. I couldn't play. I turned till I was dizzy, clapped my hands, ran, shouted, saw myself winning, saw myself losing, rejoicing, lamenting. Then suddenly I threw myself on the playthings, if there were any. I know what I mean without knowing what it is. I tried to live without knowing what I was trying. I wonder why I speak of all this. 1,000 little things to report in view of my situation. But my notes have a curious tendency, as I realize at last, to turn aside from this extraordinary hit, to mention only it which I will not specify. I have no time to pick my words, said he. I'm in a hurry to be done. And yet, he said, No. I'm in no hurry, but enough about me. Now it is a game. I'm going to play. I never knew how to play till now. I longed to, but I knew it was impossible, and yet I often tried. I often amused myself with trying to invent them, those same lost events, but without succeeding to amuse myself really. Yes, let us talk a little about me. What shall I die of in the end? I'm quite sure of it now, though earlier I used to have my doubts, as any would have had, providing he had been granted the leave to reflect about the benefits of living, for the time being. No, it is not a question of understanding, said he. Of what then? I don't know. Here I go nonetheless, mistakenly at any rate.
Hope I've not forgotten anything, he said. A high wall encompassed it about, without however shutting off the view, unless you happen to be in its lee.
How was this possible?
I will not have it! This won't do,
He cried.
Something must have changed.
No point in knowing this or that. Either you know all or you know nothing. Perhaps it is just another story, told me by someone who found it funny. Ah, the stories I was told, the days we've seen, and all funny, not one not funny. In any case, I fancy that's how it should be told. We have just the time, if we have calculated right. And if we calculated wrong, so much the better. We ask nothing better. Besides, we haven't calculated anything. Don't ask anything either. Just time to go and make a little turn.
I shall be neutral and inert. No difficulty there. But what am I to feel?
I shall not answer any more questions. I shall even try not to ask myself anymore. While waiting, I shall tell you stories, if I can.
I forgot how long I've been here,
He muttered.
Must have missed the time.
They will be neither beautiful nor ugly. They will be calm.
How tedious.
There will be no ugliness, no beauty, no fever in them anymore. They will be almost weary, like you. A sudden wish. I have a sudden wish to see, as sometimes in the old days, something, anything, no matter what. Or alone, back alone, as alone as when I went. But I doubt it. I can hear him from here, crying after me down the corridors, stumbling through the rubble, imploring me to take him with me. Am I not talking yet again about myself? Shall I be incapable to the very end of lying on any other subject?
You strike no chord in my memory,
He reflected.
I don't recall ever having smoked a tobacco pipe.
Never mind. What an end.
How long could it have lasted?
Said he.
5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Yes, no more, not much more. But the silence was in the heart of the dark, the silence of dust and the things that would never stir if left alone.
This time I know where I'm going. It is no longer the ancient night, the recent night. Now it is a game. I'm going to play.
I've had a visit. Things were going too well. I had forgotten myself, lost myself. I exaggerate. Things were not going too badly. I was elsewhere, another was here.
I took a good look all round. I began to play with what I saw.
That is not how to play. That is just what I wanted to avoid.
I shall never get born and therefore never get dead. And a good job too.
But what matter whether I was born or not, have lived or not, am dead or merely dying? I shall go on doing as I've always done, not knowing what it is that I do, nor who I am, nor where I am, nor if I am. Yes, a little creature. I shall try and make a little creature to hold in my arm, a little creature in my image, no matter what I say. And seeing what a poor thing I've made, or how like myself, I shall eat it. Then be alone, a long time, unhappy, not knowing what my prayers should be nor to whom. There were things that scarcely were, and soon ceased. It was my own fault. It has always been. No matter, the search for myself is ended. I'm buried in the world. I knew I would find my place there one day. The old world cloisters me, victorious. I'm happy. I knew I would be happy one day. But I'm not wise, for the wise thing now would be to let go at this instant of happiness. Enough.